Right, look at this awesome machine. 2 litre V6 Trike. I mean, the camera really isn't doing this justice at the minute. This thing is awesome. Everywhere you see, just a killing machine. Everything is sharp. It is awesome. I absolutely love it. So the story with this is, customer rang me up, it's not starting. Now, before we get on to why and can we get it started, I don't know at the minute. But in this country, in Ireland, the laws are very weird when it comes to trikes. If it's got a car engine in, which this does, you don't need to wear a helmet. If it's got a motorbike engine in, you need to wear a helmet. But get this, you can drive this on a car license because it's a car, but yet the person couldn't get insurance on it unless they had a full bike license. But yet you don't need to wear a helmet because it's classed as a car, but yet you need a full bike license to insure it, even though you're not insuring under a bike license. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's see if we can fix it. Right, so all I know is this is the gear stick, this is the clutch. Okay, let's put the battery on, turn the ignition on. Oh, so it starts from the ignition. Okay, so let's just, there's a start button there, I didn't know if it started from there. Just go to run and just turn this over. Well, battery's dead. Let me take all this cover off and this cover off so I can see what I'm doing a bit better. Alright, jump pack is on. Is there fuel in there? Right, there's fuel in there, but are we getting fuel pressure? Let's think about this logically. There's going to be no OBD2 blood on this, there's going to be no error code, there's going to be no nothing we can check easily. So what do you need an engine to start? Only a few things really. We need spark, fuel and air, obviously compression, but we only need them things for an engine to start. So first thing I'm going to check is fuel. I can see a fuel pump down there, but I can't hear it kicking in. Put you down there, see if I can touch it with my hand and see if I can feel it buzzing. Not really. Alright, I'm just going to do if I can hit it. Okay, it's not doing anything. So we now got to figure out, before I go any further, do we have power going to that, and do we have fuel pressure? And there's no easy place to check fuel pressure. Right, he does want a service in this, so what I might do, oh here we go. That's going to be the fuel line, isn't it? No. Is that? That's the fuel rail. So why isn't that moving the fuel line? Is there 2 fuel rails on this? Could be 2 injectors. Or 2 lots of injectors, I say. Right, let me strip all this off, because I'm going to have to take this off anyway once the service. So then we'll see what we can see up here a bit more. Right, this is what I wanted to see. So the fuel comes into this fuel rail first here, goes through these 3 injectors, then there's a pipe at the back, comes back round to this second bank of injectors. So what I want to do is, I can take off, or can I take off that? Will that make, if I take off that one here, that should squirt out petrol, because that's the return then. Yeah. Interesting to know if there's actually pressure in the system. if there isn't, we know where we need to start looking. Oh, that's tight.
That's what she said.
Doesn't sound or look like there's any. Nope. Put the battery on. And see. No fuel pressure when I turn the ignition. Battery's flat. Jump pack. Jump pack. Oh. Jump pack. There we go. No, I should be pissing out fuel. So, fuel pump. Right. Issue with fuel pump. I'll leave that off so we can see. So now I've got to get to the fuel pump. Is it a dodgy fuel pump? Or is it the wiring going to the fuel pump? That's bad. So is it a dodgy fuse? We've got fuses here, we've got fuses there, we've got relays there, we've got more fuses across there. So is it a dodgy fuse or is it a dodgy pump? Let me get a bit more cleaning done around here so I can see what I'm doing. Right, I'm set up to do a few tests. I think because of all this wiring, the best case scenario is that we've got power here and it's a dodgy pump rather than a wiring issue, because yeah, everything kind of is marked. I did see a thing here saying 10 amp fuse fuel pump. I did quickly check it off camera and the fuse seemed okay, but that doesn't mean it's definite. There's only one 10 amp there, but someone could have changed it for 15 amp and I'm looking at the wrong one. But anyway, not going to worry about that yet, because I want to see, this is going to be my proper test to see if I have power. I've disconnected the two wires going to the fuel pump. So what I'm going to do is, the ignition is now on. There's no pressure in the system, so what should happen, and I'm sure this system has got this, the pump should prime for a few seconds, build up pressure and shut itself off. So we should get some sort of power coming to there, even if it's just for a second. And don't be scared if you think, oh, I've only got power for 3 seconds, it shuts off. It must be an issue with the wires. No, that's kind of how they're supposed to do it. And they're supposed to do it that way, so you know, even in an accident and stuff like that, when pipes go, they don't splurt fuel out, and they're supposed to only run for a few seconds before the engine starts, and when the engine stops, the fuel pump should turn off, so if you do have an accident, it doesn't keep pumping out fuel everywhere. So all that should happen. So let me just, all I'm going to do is just put this onto the battery. We're going to see what happens. There we go. Oh, okay, so it does. There's something clicking in there. So there's some solenoid or timer running there, which is good. Now, my battery pack isn't fully charged. My battery pack's not even on. And this, oh, okay, hold on. We'll put my battery pack on. My battery pack isn't fully charged. It's only 11.7 volts, so we're not going to get true 12 volts here. So let me see again. Yeah, 11.3, and then it clicks off. Do we have it when we're cranking though? Right, so let me take off that. I want to see, do we have power as we're cranking? It's awkward, the battery is really in an awkward position. Right. We do. Only 9 odd volts, but it will be a voltage drop because of the start motor, so I'm not worried about that. So yeah, we've got power. So it looks like it's the fuel pump. Right, and unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's easy to get off. This whole frame might have to come off. So what I'm going to do, to be 1,000,000% sure, I've got the old power probe hook, and I just want to see, can I energize it myself with my own power, which I've got this connected to my jump pack. Get that on there. Why can't I get it on there? Come on, get on there. Now, get this on here and then press it. Oh, there we go. Right, that pump was stuck, but that pump is fucked. This will now run. I've unstuck it, but it's not going to be, it's all pissing out of here. It's not going to be reliable. Let me get all this back together, put that back on, but I guarantee this will run now. Maybe only for a few seconds, but it will run. Right, I'm telling you, this pump is gone, right? And I know what people are going to be saying, oh, well, if you got it started, I don't know if it will start yet, it might. Pump might not be strong enough, but it should be fine. You also got to remember, reliability reasons. Do you know, when you're out cruising this, you don't want it to be breaking down. Just because I've freed it out now, doesn't mean it's going to be kept freezing. Now, if it was, you know, parked for a couple of years and it just frozen in place, you might say okay, but still no. He had this running. He was going to drive this out, so he physically had it running, warming it up, getting all his gear on. When he came back out, it stopped and it wouldn't start again. So it was running. Anyway, my guess is now it won't start because I haven't plugged it in. Right, I plugged the connections in. Let's see if we can hear the pump now. Oh, maybe it won't start. Listen to that bad boy purr. Awesome. Now I've got to tell the customer. And we've also got to now figure out plugs, filters, because I got no number plates for the car this engine was off. I can't go off the bike's number plate because it won't work. And yeah, so I'm going to have to take out plugs and take out stuff and go and get them matched up. Looks like we've got a bit of a leak going on there, maybe. Some sort of manifold leak, maybe. Right, I think we can all be in agreement that it sounds fucking awesome. Cameras never really show, or never really, the sound of an engine never really comes through. Some engines, especially diesel engines, sound really rattly and bangy on camera, where in real life they're actually not. This sounds awesome in real life because you've got really short exhaust, basically no silencers. Someone's getting done for speeding. And yeah, so it just sounds bloody awesome. So what I got to do now is I've spoke to the customer. I said, look, I've got it started, but in my opinion, the pump is a bit dodgy. You know, it could last you another 6 minutes, 6 hours, 6 years, I don't know. But do you want me to leave it in, or do you want me to replace it? He said replace it, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and get it out. I'm not going to be able to film getting it out because there's just no room. I'm just hoping, and maybe we can just take this off out the way. I don't have to take all this frame off because that's going to be a nightmare. Everything's tied into that frame. Then what I've got to do, I'll do it off camera, is I've got to take out at least one of the spark plugs and get, you know, to find out exactly what spark plug is in it, so we can match the spark plugs up. Do the same with the oil filter, which is down there. Hopefully I can just maybe get some numbers off that without taking it off. And then we can actually physically service this thing. So yeah, I'm just looking at the details on this bike is awesome. Fucking love it. Fucking love it. And I just love, like I said in the beginning, how everything is just designed to impale you and just make your life hell if you hit into anyone. And you know what this bike will actually be really good for? Cyclists. You can just impale all the bastards everywhere. Awesome. Right, I'm back on the bike. spark plugs were easy because I took the spark plugs off and I got a number and we got the spark plugs, simple enough. Same thing with the fuel filter, or the oil filter, sorry. Got the number off, got the same one. Now, the fuel pump, on the other hand, completely different kettle of fish. So, lucky enough, we had a Meat and Dormer logo on a number, but the number was an internal number, not a part number. I messaged Meat and Dormer just on the off chance they'd get back to me. It wasn't really expecting them to get back to me. They actually got back to me and they told me the part numbers of the pump. So we ordered it. So yeah, fair play to them for doing that. The only issue is that our old pump had spade connections, where this has the round ones we have to put on because it's slightly different connection, but that's it. Pump should be exactly the same. There's the Meat and Dory logo as well. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we should be good to go. Just change the connections, put it in, and we should be sorted. I've already done the plugs. I'm going to fit this in. Can't film it, you're not going to be able to see it. It's just putting new connections on, putting the pipes back in, making sure the air fitting connection pipe is good and it doesn't leak, and we'll start it. Oh yeah, it's priming. Good enough to start it without the battery. Nope. Machine.